Both Peter and John wrote about this in their writings, about this day, this experience that they had on the mountain with Jesus when he literally would transcend from the human form to his form of deity. They saw it. They saw the brightness, the shining. They saw it and they witnessed it, and they almost themselves were in just a state of almost shock because they couldn't believe what they're seeing. Moses and Elijah appear, and they're watching something happen that's heavenly. It's spiritual. It's life-changing and transforming. I thought about this, how that after Peter had denied Christ the way that he did, after having experienced what he experienced on the mountain, I can see why it would be so hard for him to have to deal with his failure in the light of what he had seen and what he had experienced. See, I believe that a part of this experience was to gird Jesus up. You remember there in the wilderness, God sent angels to help him during that time of temptation. There in the garden, God sent angels. And see, we forget about God-man, how that Jesus had to deal with the man, the human. You remember Paul talks about this in the book of Romans chapter 7. He talks about the spiritual man versus the carnal man. And he says, oh, wretched man that I am. Well, I'm not putting Jesus in that state because Jesus, through the power of the Holy Spirit, never succumbed to the flesh. But yet, it had to be dealt with. In order for his effectiveness on the cross to be a reality, the man had to be dealt with, and the man had to be crucified. He had to live that perfect life in order to be the sacrificial lamb. And so this is a part of what God is doing, helping him to be able to deal with the reality of what's to come. But I believe it also was designed to comfort these disciples because they have some hard times ahead of them. They're going to watch their beloved leader die on the cross. And it's going to be in their hands to proceed to build this great church. And so now, them having seen his deity, the way that they did, it was there to help them in the times that they're going to need something supernatural to shore them up during the tough times to come. You see, when God does something, he always has a plan. And what God plans and what God lays out is always phenomenal. And this, my friends, was truly a phenomenal thing that took place there on that mountain. But you see, it's all of God's great plan. And thank God. We should rejoice over this because you and I are going to be the beneficiaries of what God has done and what he's doing. It's Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.